one thing everybody knows about time management, it's the to-do list. But in this video, I want to show you why to-do lists can be toxic and identify 7 other lists that you ought to consider using. A to-do list is just a list of all the things you could do. A to-do list is problematic because if you use it as your primary time management methodology, then you'll get into the mode of enjoying crossing stuff off, which is great. But what happens at the end of the day when there's still stuff on your to-do list? Well, you have 2 options. And 2 options, it's a dilemma. Option A. Option A is to stay late and to do more of your to-do list to get it off the list and crossed off. Which is great. You go home feeling good because you've done loads of stuff, but you are tired, you are exhausted, and you go to bed and you don't feel like you've had any rest and relaxation in the evening. And then all the things that are still on your to-do list are buzzing around in your head, so you don't get a lot of sleep. You go into work the next morning, you work through the day, and there's still stuff on your to-do list. I'll stay late, I'll make some progress, and you do that, and you get tireder, and day after day after day, week after week, you get tireder and more exhausted, and you wonder, am I working to live, or am I living to work? It seems to me that option A is a poor strategy. Maybe you should try option B. Option B is to get to the end of the day, find there's stuff still on your to-do list and say, I'm going home. I'm going home, I'm going to have a relaxing evening, and I'm not going to worry about my list. The thing is, knowing there's loads of stuff on your list means you can't properly relax, and you go to bed, and all those things that are still on your list are bothering you. You come into work the next morning, you spend the day working, and at the end of the day there's still stuff on your list, but you go, I'm going home. The trouble is, you keep going home and you feel like your list is getting longer and longer, there's more and more stuff that you need to do, and you're not making progress. That's not satisfying. It's almost as if option B is a poor strategy too. The problem isn't the options, it's the list itself. Because a to-do list is an open list. You will never finish it. Therefore, it is a poor mechanism for time management. Change your to-do list into a could-do list and use it as a store of things you could do. And then use these other 7 lists as your primary mechanisms for managing your time. The first of these lists is the today list, and the today list is a closed list of the things you're going to do today. At the start of the day, or better still, at the end of the previous day, make a list of the things you want to get done. Not a complete list of everything you could get done, but a reasonable list of the things you need to get done and you know you will have time to do. That way, because it's a closed list, when you get to the end of the day, you can finish that list and go home knowing you've done some worthwhile work. Where do you get the items to put on your today list? Well, you get them from your could-do list, your list of things you could do. This is your repurposed to-do list. But what if something crops up and it's not urgent enough that you need to do it now, but it's going to bother you if you don't deal with it? Well, you could put it onto your could-do list, but you may worry that it'll just get lost there and you may forget to put it on to tomorrow's today list. So the solution is a tomorrow list. A list of things that you could do tomorrow and that you want to do tomorrow, and they are your first port of call when creating tomorrow's today list. Now, do you have anything on your to-do list, or better still, your could-do list, that's been on there for ages and ages and ages? And every time you look at them, you think, no, I should do it, but I don't want to. The problem with those things is they exhaust us psychologically, mentally, emotionally. We worry about the fact we should do them, but we never do them, and so they continue to bother us. The list you need for those things is a to-don't list. Get the pleasure of deleting them from your to-do list, crossing them off, and then transfer them to a new list, a to-don't list. Periodically cull your to-do list or your could-do list by taking out the things you just aren't doing and you're worrying about needlessly. Put them on a to-don't list, and if you're brave, file them in the small round filing cabinet on the floor by the door. If you're not so brave, put them at the bottom of the lowest drawer in your desk or on top of the highest shelf in your cupboard. Forget about them. Discharge them from your memory. But what if some of those items on your to-do list or your could-do list, what if they're actually important projects and the reason you're not doing them isn't because you don't want to do them or they're not important enough, it's just they're too big and you need more time to think about them and to break them down? Well, keep a project list. In fact, I keep a little notebook, and when I have an idea for a project that I want to pursue, but I know now isn't the time, I don't want to forget it, I don't put it on my to-do list or my could-do list, I put it in my project book. I create a page for it, I put some notes down about what's in my mind about it, and that way when I know I've got time and I want to entertain a new project, I can look through my project book for the most compelling, most important, most valuable, most urgent project to take on. What happens if you get overwhelmed by the vast amount of stuff you need to do? Well, for this, you need list number 7, a Tiddler list, a list of all the little things. Because sometimes the vast amount of stuff you need to do just bothers you and overwhelms you. A Tiddler list is a list of all the little things that you can prioritize today, not because they're more important, but because you need to get them off your agenda. If you're bothered by serious feelings of overwhelm, then you do need our overwhelm routine, so take a look at our video on how to overcome overwhelm. But at its simplest, just creating a separate list of all the little things that you can do quickly and working your way through them in an hour or two and getting them off your agenda is a fantastic way to free up mental headspace. And our final list is the list you need to stop you forgetting things that other people are doing. A to-track list. A to-track list is a reminder of all the things you want to keep aware of. It's a list of all the outstanding items that other people have promised you. If you placed orders and you want to make sure you remember to check if they arrived, then put them on your to-track list. If you've asked people to do things for you, then note it on your to-track list. If you've lent a book or a CD or a piece of equipment to somebody, put it on your to-track list. Then periodically you can scan down it, cross off the things that have been fulfilled, identify the things that have been outstanding too long, and deal with them. I know lists sound like a boring way to manage your time, and certainly a to-do list as your only way to manage your time is a toxic approach. However, with the right lists used properly, you can become a master of productivity and use your time effectively. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.